Welcome everyone to the NSE UK Splatoon University League finale. It is all ending tonight. We are in the top 4 right now. I am Conroe and I am joined for the entire night once again with the lovely Pat. Hello Pat, how are you doing?
I am doing great, and finally we are at the finals. We've seen these teams fight over and over to show who is the best. And tonight we're going to get an answer for this lovely NSE season, Conroe. And we're going to start with arguably our top 2 teams. On the one side, Portsmouth Paladins. They haven't lost a set. They've won everything. They've dropped a few maps. They've dropped 5 maps, and 4 of them were to the Anarchists. Who are the one team that can contest them, that can bring the fight to them. So I can't wait to see these teams fight again. They've been so evenly matched each time, so now we get to see them fight.
Yeah, definitely. So just in case anyone's kind of new to this tournament, it is the finale, but there were most of these teams have had 9 matches of Swiss, and it is possible for teams to fight more than once in the Swiss stage, which is what happened with these two. Portsmouth Paladins and Anarchists went against each other twice in the Swiss stage, and both times it went to the last game, Game 5, and Portsmouth Paladins won both times. This format is best of 5, where Game 1 is a best of 3 Turf War mini set, just like a lot of the official Nintendo tournaments that we had over here. And they have picked, I think Paladins pick the first map. Every single map is counter picks after this. Whichever team loses picks the next one. And they've picked Robo-Roman Turf War, so it probably won't be long until we get into the game. But yeah, this is a winner's final. I'm not sure if we actually mentioned that, but there are 4 teams remaining. Winner's final is happening right here on stream. Solent Cardinals and Tentacle Nuke Inkbound are currently playing the losers semi-final at the same time as this, so that won't be on stream. And then after that, we go to the losers final and then the grand final after that. But we are going to get into this big rivalry between these two, Portsmouth Paladins and Anarchists. Can Anarchists finally win a match here against Portsmouth Paladins? They've come close twice. There's going to be at least one more attempt for them. Let's see how they do.
Yep, and we are going right now. Both teams throwing themselves forward. Both teams very aggro. Rem, of course, playing with the Tetras to maintain some presence, to maintain the fight going. Not able to find much yet, but still fighting their time. Wait, oh! Okay, never mind.
I have a feeling they saw Rem was there. Rem was trying to sharken their flank as they normally do on the Tetra, but Rhythm just went for a one-hit KO slash with the Wiper, and they get it. Rhythm is a very strong on Wiper. We've seen them on Wiper and Bucket, and they're very good at killing on both. The Ultra Stamps out, not quite able to get anything, and Portsmouth Paladins have quite quickly turned this around, actually. Almost everyone going down on Anarchist, and they're all coming out of spawn, and Rem is just pushing up and gets another one as well. Tame kind of retreats. They've actually gone forward to mid. They're very alone. If they can get a pick here, it will be nice to get a nice opening for their team. Not quite able to get anything, and now they're being attacked by 2 people. And Tame, oh no, it didn't get. In fact, 2 players down for Paladin. Not sure what happened elsewhere, but Anarchists have managed to recover and get back in.
Tame took a lot of attention, and with that Crab was able to completely disrupt the Paladins. The rest of the Anarchists were able to come back onto the map thanks to that move, and right now we're back to a fight for mid. And with all the specials, it looks like the Anarchists are the one putting the Paladins in danger this time, and are pushing forward, trying to get more. This next fight could decide a lot, and it's 2 down on the Anarchists. It looks like the Paladins are back on top.
Yeah, they are. It's a lot of back and forth in this game. Both of these teams do know how to recover as a team to come back in. A lot of competitive experience across these 2 teams. Very coordinated. That's why they've been the top 2 for the whole season. And Anarchists definitely not out of it yet. I mean, it looks pretty neutral right now. They've got roughly the same amount of ground in middle, at least, as Portsmouth Paladins. The super chumps come out on the side of Paladins. They're going to try and push with those if they can. Rem is actually on Anarchist's side quite heavily. One goes down and Rem gets a pick as well. And it's just down to Snipes and Tame. And Tame has a reef slide to deal with. They're able to get away just, and that's very important that they live their path.
Yeah, right now the Paladins are still in control of mid. Anarchists need to break through. They have 25 seconds to go in. The Booyah Bomb is going to open the pass as J-Blast is punishing the flank to the side. Beautiful Nautilus play right now. 2 down on the Anarchists, and Rem is still going around with this Tetris. Snipes, aka Mesmerizer, is sent back to spawn. It looks like the Paladins are going to take game number 1 of Turf Wars.
It certainly looks like it. Although, I mean, they haven't painted a bit of their spawn there. You never know. You never know. It's a bit dotty, but it definitely. I mean, it looks like Paladins, and it is quite convincing.
Yeah. When you go that far, in the opponent territory, you don't need to paint your spawn.
Yeah. If Anarchists were able to come back in, they might have regretted that, but it's fine. That was a very convincing end to the Turf War match for them. I've got to say, I've not seen J-Blast on the Nautilus at all. I'm not sure if that's new for them or not. They normally pick the L3 in Turf War and just spam the inkjets, but they're quite versatile with their weapons. They play a lot, and I mean, it was definitely a good pick there for Portsmouth Paladins. They definitely had a plan. I mean, the Nautilus is providing most of the range, I suppose, on their team because they don't have too much, and paint as well. But it was a bit back and forth, but Portsmouth Paladins come out on top at the end.
Yeah, as you said, I feel like the Nautilus and the Splattershot Pro were able to really solidify the presence of the Paladins. They always had someone with enough range to contest whatever Anarchists were trying to do. And Anarchists were forced to try to cut the distance constantly. And you don't want to have to cut the distance when Rem is swinging around, going everywhere around you, and maintaining the fights. Right now, that's game number 1 for the Paladins, but it's only game 1 of Turf Wars. It's not yet a point. There's more to play, and Anarchists get to choose the map now.
Yeah, they do. As we said at the start, pretty much every map is a counter pick, and we do have a map list here for each mode. They can basically pick Humpback, Pump Track, Marlin Airport, Inkblot Art Academy, or Mahi Mahi Resort, or Mako Mart as well. Those 2 maps are on the same line. But yeah, they have a fair few picks. I think the only rule for the counter picks is we can't see the same map twice in a set, regardless of whether you won or not on it, and regardless of what mode it is. And they have picked Humpback Pump Track.
Yeah. Humpback Pump Track, very wide map. We had very much with Robo Roman that map where you had these chokeholds. The word came back to me. These chokehold points right next to me that really decide how you're going to be able to get back onto the map. But on Humpback, the map is incredibly wide. You can go anywhere you want, and you kind of have to play whack-a-mole if you want to cover everything and make sure that you stay in control.
Yeah, we've said it on the stream before. It's we like this as a turf war pick because the whole outside, you can just like walk around the outside, basically a ring. So you have to kind of focus on both the sides and the middle because you want control of top mid, but it's very easy for opponents to kind of sneak around on those flanks, get to your side, and carry on painting on your platform. And there are 2 players down quite early here for Anarchist, and I think the Zap has just jumped out to regroup with their team. J-Blast is going around on the right, and they are taking a very aggressive position, basically painting up Anarchist's spawn at this early point. And now they have help from the Tetra, but the Tetra is going to get picked off while Luca just sharks on the left for someone.
Yeah, Luca waiting right there. He's not going to get the splat, but keeps the position and is able to stay there right now. The Paladins kind of struggling to get out of their spawn right now. It's looking pretty rough for them.
It is. They really don't like snipes. I mean, they're mesmerizer in game.
Yeah.
They want the reflux. They've gone top left, and they always seem to have someone shooting at them. They don't want snipe to be able to do anything. And out comes the BR bomb. Of course, reflux is going to get a lot of those in Turf War. The rain coming out from J-Blast, and the Zap player on Anarchist is actually in a bit of a spot, but they were able to get away. And they kind of, I think they've all just forgotten about the NZAP. The NZAP is going to flank around now onto the Paladin side.
Everybody is flanking on the side of the Anarchists. They're able to take a lot of ground thanks to that. Now they're back into mid, fighting their way into more splats. Ooh, but they lose a few players. This team fight is not over yet. And it's 2 versus 2. These 2 teams are still fighting to know who will stay on top. But it looks like the Anarchists at least broke through, are able to get back into mid. Now it's back to a battle of painting.
Yeah, that was a big team fight just then, and I think Anarchist generally came out on top. Rhythm with the slosher, holding mid as much as they can. I mentioned before the last game they are really good on the slosher as well, trying to keep 3 players at bay right now though, and Rem is pushed forward while Rhythm is alone to get the pick. And now they're going to fight Tame on the right, and I think that was a trade probably in the favor of Rem there because Anarchists need the players alive to get back into this one.
Oh yeah, right now 30 seconds left. And I feel like Paladins still have a bit more blue on the map with J-Blast going in the street once again. Incontested is going to paint everything. Meanwhile, the Anarchists taking control over mid. Snipes, as we're saying, so dangerous even with a reflux. And it's only J-Blast left. It looks like the Anarchists are able to take full control of this map, Conroe.
It is. It's basically just down to J-Blast because they were the last one alive. But I think that pick on Snipes has actually given a chance for Paladins to come back in. Oh, that map is that is a real humpback map finish there. Oh, man, I can't tell. I cannot tell from that.
There's blue and yellow everywhere right now. But there's more yellow. Apparently the cats have spoken, and we're going to go to a game 3 to know who is going to take the Turf Wars point.
Yeah, that was a exciting ending there. I mean, it definitely looked like Anarchists were going to comfortably come back in. I think J Blast flanked with the Naught, but their teammates kind of went down behind them, so they had to turn around. They got a pick on Snipes, and it looked like that might have been enough to get the team back in, but I think by then it was just a little bit too late, and Anarchists won the final team fight, which is often the most important fight in Turf War, and that might decide the game for you. But yeah, very close again, but Anarchist, decent counter pick, and it's 1-1 in the Turf War set.
Yeah, I mean, we were expecting these two teams to be close, evenly matched with each other. They've been very, very close throughout this season. And now we're going to Macromart to decide who is going to get that first point. And we could say that right now, we're in a best of 5. There's no longer like the best of 3 shenanigans. This next map will be worth 1 point.
Yeah, pretty much. They've won one TAF game each, so it basically cancels itself out at this point. So yeah, it will just be a best of 5, one of each mode. We can just pretend those 2 games never happened. I mean, we just start on Macromart. The only bearing really is that we can't see Robo Ramen or Humpback in the ranked modes now because they've already been played. And now we're going to see another favorite for the ranked modes, really, Macromart. You know, we see it in zones a lot, and we won't see it in zones here either because we're going to see it in Turf War. Yeah, we do often see the same turf maps, I feel. We haven't seen Mahi, actually, this mini set. Mahi is the other one that almost always gets picked. But yeah, Macromart, I'm sure that these 2 teams have probably played here in Turf before as well. You know, it's possible the Naught pick is actually specific for Anarchists from, you know, the choice from Paladins. They probably know how Anarchists play Turf. Snipes is pretty much always on reflux, so, you know, it's a good choice against that because it has the range to deal with it.
Yep, pretty much. And one thing to note is we had a small map with chokeholds in game number 1. We had the wide map where you can kind of go everywhere in game number 2. Now we're going to a small map where you can go everywhere for game number 3. So kind of a middle ground between the 2. We'll see who is able to get the most out of it. One thing for sure is that there's going to be flanks, there's going to be fights left and right. And watch the buckets, watch all the ledge options, because on this map they're usually what decides the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think either of Rhythm's kind of main weapons that they play could work here, the Wiper or the Bucket, and they have gone with the Bucket. I think that might be the better choice of the 2. They still have a decav, of course, as well. And yeah, pretty aggressive comp coming out from Anarchist. I mean, it's pretty much what they've been running. They don't have a proper backline. No real changes either, except J Blast is on the splashdown Naught. I think that's really the only change with this team. So yeah, similar comps.
I think that wasn't the same pro. Lucas switched to the new pro with the missiles.
Yeah, they have more missiles coming out from that team, and Tame gets to pick that. Sadie was just dropping on them, but they got punished immediately, and Tame gets a couple, and they could get another one. I mean, Force of Paladins are going to be forced back quite quickly, backing up to use the missiles. I'm not sure if they're going to get anything with that, although the bucket goes down, so they definitely got something for it. But yeah, KG opening to this one, but it's just Snipes left on Anarchists right now. They've got plenty of paint with the reflux, but they're going to have to regroup for their teammates.
Yeah, right now the Paladins have a lot of control over mid, are painting to make sure they... Oh, Tame's still there. Tame has been so dangerous this whole game, being everywhere with that decapitator. He's now going into spawn to be more dangerous, and this is going to be called out and splatted by everybody from the Paladins.
Yeah, Paladins really have to be careful because Tame just seems to be emerging right in front of someone and just slashing them for a 1-hit KO so far this game. But a nice Reeve slide pick from Rem, but they can't quite follow up. But it is 2 players down for Anarchist, although Tame, well, they're not quite able to get anything this time. Luca finally able to deal with them. When we go to the overhead view, it really is Ports of Paladins in this early stage. J Blast has pushed up to establish a position with the Naught on the stack. Snipes takes out Remno, although it gets taken out. And J Blast is setting up, but they've finally been taken down, and Tame might be able to do something from there.
Yeah, Tame to the side, surrounded, activating the bubbler to make sure that they can stay alive and dangerous right now. Luca is going to be splatted as well. In the last minute, the anarchists are now taking more and more control over the map. J-Blast is to the side, kind of forced to... Yep, J-Blast is going to be splatted as well. All of the paladins are now trying to get back in. That's not how they wanted to start the last minute.
It isn't. A lot of picks coming out, a lot of team fights. Rhythm trying to hold the middle ground, looking for an important pick now with the Slosher. The next team fight is going to be very important, and J-Blast is alone on the left, and they get picked off. Everyone was rushing them down, and now Anarchists are going to go together on the right to force the rest back, and they've really taken this map back since the start of the game. Luca trying to go in on the left with Rem. The next team fight is going to be important. Force of Paladins have time, but they have to get it done now.
Ooh, and another bubbler by Tane to keep the control for the Anarchists. That's a lot of yellow right now. Luca is behind everybody, but I think it's too late. The Anarchists have control of this map and are going to take the first point of this winners finals.
Yeah, that's a convincing last win for Anarchists, but again it was very back and forth. It looked like Force of Paladins were set up quite well after that initial streak that Tame went on right at the start of the game. Force of Paladins were able to get back in. They looked pretty set up. J-Blast was just on their stack. The Knot has plenty of range. They can kind of reach them on Anarchist side as they come out of spawn almost, and I think Rem was just trying to join them, but every time Rem tried to really push up and get anything on the Tetra, they weren't quite able to. I think they just they got a pick with the Reeve slide, but they wouldn't get anything else after it. So it was tough for Paladins to kind of make anything of that. Anarchists did a really good job of coordinating. I feel they always did stuff together from what I saw at least.
Yeah, the Anarchists were able to really take the ground to punish all the tricky moves that the Paladins were throwing at them in the end. That's how they won it. That's how they got the Turf Wars point. But now we're done with Turf Wars for this upper bracket finals. We're going to go on to Clan Blitz. Also a mode where you want to paint the whole map, but this time you want to do so you can see where the clans are.
Yes, definitely. I think so. We're waiting for. Sorry, I'm getting confused. They're Pause for Paladins picks, which I think is going to be, it is Barnacle and Dime, which again we've seen. I've certainly seen Pause for Paladins play on this map a few times in Clan Blitz, and they do tend to win. It is a favorite pick of theirs for a reason. But yeah, very much. I mean, if we're going to go from Turf War to anything, Clan Blitz is probably the next most adjacent. Definitely a different objective, but it basically covers the whole map. You do have the basket at either end, but there are clans everywhere that you have to collect on the way. Probably requires the most coordination as well, Clan Blitz as a team, because you have to do everything together. You have to make sure you're juggling clans between the team, and you're able to make a power clan to break open the basket. So we'll be interested to see if we see any comp changes here. I mean, Snipes isn't going to stay on the reflux. That is going to be something that changes, and they do normally play kind of more frontline weapons in this competition, I believe. I think they've gone for the swords a lot of the time. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But I'm interested if J-Blast is going to stay on the Nort as well, or was that just a kind of a Turf War pick and they'll go back to Blasters or something? We know them more for.
Yeah, we know them for the Blasters, and now that we're no longer in Turf Wars, we could very much see that happening. Now let's see. Yes, indeed, a change of comp on the side of both of these teams. Both teams are now a bit different in how they're going to play, but we're sticking with the short range and mid range between there. There's no backline, there's no pencil. So it's going to be a lot about the fights, Conroe.
It is, and I like Snipes going for the Rapid Pro Deco, which we already don't see a lot. And they're going for the opening Gambit Rapid Pro Deco. So they're just going to go for some really early picks. Of course, the angle shooter, and well, it's paying off because they've definitely got the first team fight going there. Luca gets punished as they're coming back in as well. So that's one more player down for Portsmouth Paladins. They lose the first team fight, but they've recovered pretty well. They've picked off snipes. Rem fighting Tame, and the teammate comes to clean up. So the Kraken coming out from Riven, not really able to do much. Snipes getting the pick, but they're the only one alive now for Anarchists.
Yeah, right now the Anarchists not able to get as much as they wanted, but still able to get a lot of splats right there. The Paladins have the clams, but they're forced out, and right now simply saving their lives, saving their super clams, and all of them respawning in time to win the fight anyways. Beautiful moves by J-Blast right there to absolutely allow the rest of the team to get back forward, and because they have the super clam still in the store, they could open the basket or not. I mean, these fights are going so fast, Conroe!
Oh no, I think Snipes and Rhythm had something to say about it. It's just, I mean, Snipes, they're such a good backline player anyway on whatever weapon, and that is going to be a big challenge for Portsmouth Paladins. The Rapid Pro has so much range, and they really just have to get rid of Snipes to go in. Tame, Sharky on the left, they're holding on to 7 clams, so they really need to get something if they're going to go for those picks there. Otherwise, that's going to be a lot of clams dropped. And Anarchists have broken open the barrier. They have lost Tame though, so I don't know where those clams went. It's only 20 points on the board. Snipes has to back up quite quickly to regroup. I mean, it's 20 points. It is a score, and we're almost halfway through the game. Portsmouth Paladins not able to get anything, and they're still dropping players. It's just Rem who's gone for a big flank, and to be fair, has got a pick.
Has a pick and is behind everybody right there. A quick super jump with the Biddy Club could give the lead to the Portsmouth Paladins. Never mind, right there, the barrier is broken. Rem is forced to jump back into the spawn. Right now it's defense mode for Paladins, but with that bubbler, Rem is forced to use the Reef Slider to just clean up, get the splat. It's a wipeout for the Paladins, but 43 points remaining is a huge lead for the Anarchists.
It is a big lead, but that was really well played from Rem on the defense there, using a Reef Slide, which is just a perfect counter for Big Bubbler, and they cleaned up with a couple of picks as well. But this is where they really need to win the fights. They have Rhythm on the brush to deal with. Rem goes down, and Snipes is still alive on the top left, and they're still alive, but it's just the Zap and the Rapid, so they might just brute force it here with the numbers. The Power Clam carrier goes down, but the basket is open, and they're down to 51. J-Blast trying to get something going. I think there's at least one clam by the basket, but they're going to need more than that. Someone
and in this
power, but Sadie is not able to put that in. The super jump was a little bit too far away, and there wasn't enough time, but I mean, they've pushed it to 51. They're definitely a lot closer now.
Yeah, I mean, Paladins are back in the game. They managed to save that super clam, but didn't make it to the basket. That is very, very important, because we're about to enter the last minute, and it's the Anarchists applying the pressure once again. They have the whole map under their control, which means they're the ones who are going to get the clams, and right now they're very happy to simply hold their ground and get back to the basket.
Yeah, they do get back, and they're still scoring more. Tame gets a pick on Rem, and they have some clams top left. I think they're just trying to run down the time a bit before putting them in, and they do eventually. 25 points they get it down to. I think Portsmouth Paladins are able to clean up here, but they do have a lot of work to do. That's 2 powered lambs they need to get in, and a few more as well.
Yeah, more than 50 points is needed by the Paladins right now. They're back into mid, ready to fight, but they're going to need all of their resources if they want to get under the basket. Right now, the Booyah Bomb is thrown, is going to allow them to get some ground. Another Booyah Bomb to get a splat. They need to dodge the Kraken. They need to not lose their players. Oh, they're under here. They're getting 2 super clams in. Only a few more clams would give them 1 point. They're only 1 point behind, but they are too late. Anarchist surviving that push will get another point against the Portsmouth Paladins.
Oh my goodness, what an ending there. I wasn't really expecting them to go for the super jumps rather than just kind of push in. One of the BR bombs took out Snipes, which we were saying before was the player you need to get rid of, but they couldn't quite take full advantage of it, so they went for the super jumps instead. They got 2 power clams in, I think, and J-Blast had 4 clams, which was going to be a desperate ask because they were surrounded by Anarchist players. They managed to get 3 in, but they just couldn't get the last clam in, so they finished 1 point short. So Anarchists are now 2-0 up in the winners final against the team that they've lost twice to in the Swiss stage. They may have figured out Portsmouth Paladins here.
Yeah, it looks like the Anarchists are doing one better, but it's still been very, very close. I mean, we were just 1 point apart, Colro. And without much hesitation, the Paladins are going to go to Tower Control and Inkblot Art Academy. Very much a classic of Tower Control. So we'll see how they're able to do. We can expect Jess to bring back the blaster, of course.
Yeah, I can't imagine Jess is going to switch off the blaster. Very strong on that weapon. And I think we're going to Tower Control Inkblot for this one. So yeah, I can see that staying out. But yeah, as you said, every single game has been close again, even though it is 2-0 to Anarchists, which is what we've come to expect from these two teams when they play each other. I think this tournament, this is their 13th game, the upcoming one, the 13th game against each other. And that's not even that's only if you count the Turf War games as one game, because otherwise it's even more than that. But yeah, it's always very close. And, I mean, one of these teams is going to go down to the losers final, and Solent Cardinals or Tentacle Nukem Bound are going to have to bring their best to that losers final. If otherwise, we're going to see a rematch with these two in about an hour or so. But one of these teams does want to get there now, and so they don't have to play a losers final. And Anarchists have put themselves on the doorstep, 2-0 up. Portsmouth Paladins, I'm not sure if they've ever been at this point, to be honest. I mean, I think Anarchists went to game 5, but I don't think Portsmouth Paladins were 2-0 down in either of those. So, can they bring out the reverse sweep? It's going to start on a map that probably favors them, just based on the comps. They're running, the S Blast, it has BR Bomb, and of course Blaster. So, Blasters love tower control. So, let's see. Or do Anarchists have another plan?
I mean, the Anarchists right now, they only need to win one more game to break the curse, this Portsmouth Paladins curse that has been the one team that they were not able to beat, that they were not able to completely beat. And all they need is to win this next game or one of the next. They're very close, but never count the Portsmouth Paladins out. They're very much dangerous. They always stay dangerous. They've seen game 5s before, and I'm sure they're readying up to get back there. But they have their work cut out for them. There's a lot to do if they want to beat the Anarchists, who today are looking like they're able to just pull through by a tiny margin each time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Anarchists have definitely brought their best so far for this finale. And yeah, we did vaguely mention it. Portsmouth Paladins are the only team in the whole tournament that haven't lost a match yet. They won all 9 of their Swiss games, and they won the winners' quarterfinal and the semi-final to get here. So they're 11-0 right now for matches. But we could be about to see our last team standing pick up a loss as well on the way, unless they reverse sweep on Anarchists here. And there aren't many changes. I think they've gone back to the new Pro, Luca. I'm not sure if they were using that before. The missiles are back, which again is a solid pick on tower, because if you're on tower and you get missiles, you're going to have to avoid them. Not many changes on Anarchist though. I think it is the same comp from there.
Yeah, pretty much similar comp at this point. It's no longer time to change the weapon. It's simply about doing what you know how to do a bit better, a bit faster, a bit more coordinated. And right now, the Paladins are opening very, very strongly, taking control of the tower. Tame is behind them though with the Decavitator. Will activate the bubbler a bit too late. That's going to let the Paladins get to the first checkpoint, but not yet able to go through it. It looks like the Anarchists are able to respawn. Oh well, J-Blast came in and Rem is following up as well. The tower is going to go back to that checkpoint, Kenra.
It is, and Rem is trying to do something. Anarchists have done a good job of shutting Rem down in this set so far, but they have been able to start well this match. I'd say Tame is kind of doing the role that Rem is doing on the other side, but with Decav instead, and they're also doing a really solid job. I think they've kind of had to pick up frontline weapons again for this tournament, and throughout it they've been really solid on the front line, normally on Decav. always being a thorn in the other team's side. A lot of picks coming out now. I mean, Ports of Paladins are still getting the picks. They've not really been able to push the tower so far, but if they keep as they have been, just make sure someone is riding the tower. It looks good for them so far. Hopefully they're going to get through the first checkpoint now at this time.
Yeah, and right now the checkpoint is finally broken by the Paladins, who've been unrelenting in their attack, as the Anarchists are still there, ready to defend Tame. Again, going to the side is going to be splatted by Rem. It's 2 versus 2 right now, as the tower is going back into mid. Our two teams still very much evenly matched, but throughout all of this time, it's only the Paladins that have gotten on the tower.
Yeah, it is. Anarchists can't quite find a footing in this game, except for Snites there. I mean, they are doing their job really well as the backline Rapid, and they're just able to get the picks. They could get one on Rem. I was going to say, no way the Rapid throw wins that one. They almost did, but Rem instead eventually comes out on top. They're able to get the picks, but it's so chaotic because someone on Anarchist is constantly able to get behind them. It's probably Tame on the decav doing that, as we see Rem just doing what a Tetra needs to do, and it is Tame. Tame is behind them, and now there's a super jump to them as well. I think, Rhythm. I think both teams are trying to do that because Rem would definitely be doing that on the other team, just constantly super back in. That might be why we've not really seen the tower move. It's just so much chaos, so many people going kind of behind the front lines, but Anarchists are finally going to get a push going, but it's going to end straight away, Pat, devastatingly.
Yeah, big wipeout right there for Portsmouth Paladins. 2 minutes left in the game, Conroe, and Portsmouth is pushing forward once again. This time there's no first checkpoint to slow them down. They're going to go straight to the second. And I mean, they're on it right now. Tame, the last fighter for the Anarchist, is going to punish the jumps, but is going to be sent back home still. And Luca, dancing on the tower, will go through the checkpoint, but it's huge for Portsmouth. The Anarchists right now are simply getting their bearings back, pushing the tower back into mid. Now, I mean, they need to make it work, because like they've gotten pummeled this whole game. They haven't broken through the first checkpoint yet.
No, they haven't, and Tame almost single-handedly stopped that push as well. They just, thankfully, Jess, I think, was able to take them out, but I mean, the Anarchists always had like a couple of people slowing tower. Portsmouth Paladins have basically just brute forced that. They just constantly had people getting on tower to 44, but it wasn't ever really a clear push. They've just happened to get it to 44. Tame finally able to set up a big bubbler. They have to get some picks here, though. I mean, Portsmouth Paladins very bunched up on top left, but no one really is able to take advantage of that. But now they're 2 down, and this might be the time for Anarchists to go for the lead. They're only 16 points off. J-Blast is sharking for a kill, but they're not able to get one. 2 down again for Portsmouth Paladins. And now it's a wipe. It's a wipe for Portsmouth Paladins. Anarchists are going to take the lead.
That's easy lead for the Anarchists with a huge wipeout within the last 20 seconds of the game, and it's pretty much a victory lap for the Anarchists, who are dancing around, keeping control over the tower and leaning up left and right. Ram, last alive, is going to not... Oh, well, no, yeah, there's a Kraken on the tower. They're still in there, yep. That's game. That's the game for the Anarchists. They don't get the KO, but they get the 3-0 against the team that they had not managed to beat this whole season.
Wow, yeah, what a statement from Anarchists there. The third match we've seen between these two, Portsmouth Paladins taking both the others 3-2, and Anarchists have just come out in the winners final and swept it. I mean, they lost the very first game in Turf War in the mini set, but that doesn't even show on the scoreboard because Turf War just counts as one game. So yeah, it's 3-0. 3-0 to the Anarchists, shooting straight to the grand final of this season. Portsmouth Paladins are going to have to wait and see who they play in the losers final to get another chance to take out Anarchists in the grand final. But yeah, that was crazy game there from Anarchists. They only really got one push, but that's all they needed. Yeah.
I mean, the Anarchists, they played patient. They really waited for their one opportunity to get into enemy territory, and once they were like, oh, we had the opportunity to we had the way in, they really went in, and suddenly the paladins who were expecting to be the ones winning the fight got the wrong position, got outpaced, got outmatched, and lost this game. That's a 3-0 to the Anarchists. As you were saying, we're going to move to the lower bracket. We're going to watch more of the Portsmouth Paladins. We don't know who their opponent is yet. We'll know very soon as the Solent Cardinals and Tentacle New Kingbound are done with their games.
Welcome back, everyone, to the finale of the NSE UK Splatoon University League, the winter edition of 2025. I am Conro, and I am joined again by Pat for the losers final now. We're into the top three. Anarchists just beat Portsmouth Paladins 3-0 in the winners final to get to the grand final, and we are going to find out who joins them between Portsmouth Paladins and Tentacle Nuke Inkbound.
Yeah, the Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, they've had a great season with two exceptions. Two teams have beaten them, it's the Portsmouth Paladins and the Anarchists. So right now, Tentacle Nuke, they are guaranteed the podium, but they need to beat the two teams that have beaten them so far. So they need to show that they can come back, that they've learned from these defeats. Portsmouth Paladins, of course, they want to get back in upper bracket. They want to get to grands. They want to fight their rivals of the Anarchists. We'll see who is able to go so, and we go right in the game, Conro, as our first Turf Wars is going, and of course, it's going to be on a Robo-Roman.
Yeah, Robo-Roman, if just in case you just joined us, Portsmouth Paladins picked this map as well for game one against Anarchists, and they won there, so they certainly have a plan in place. J-Blast sticking with the Nautilus as they did against Anarchists. Sarge is bringing out a vanilla try, actually, the one with Inkjet. That's the best weapon in the game, and I say so. I just like that weapon, but yeah,
Slight bias.
It's not a weapon you see too much, especially in Turf War, but yeah, great to see. No changes, I don't think, from what Paladins ran here before, and they are making the better start against Tentacle Nuke Inkbound with 3 players down already. It's just Egg on the Reflux, who is doing their best to stay alive, and they are doing a really good job of staying alive. They stayed alive for a long time there, but the Inkstorm from J-Blast is just too much for them, and they do get taken out. But it's a very convincing start from Portsmouth Paladins, who absolutely just want to get straight back to that grand final.
Yeah, right now Portsmouth very much taking control of the map. Rem going in, winning the Julie's duel, and winning more even with that. Like, that is non-stop acting, non-stop action, non-stop power on the side of Portsmouth, who are very much keeping Tentacle Nuke in their spawn. Tentacle Nuke still fighting to get back in there, and Rem is still dancing around, unable to jump away.
Yeah, they jumped to a teammate who I think... I thought that jump was getting camped. It wasn't. 1496 was at the top, and Rem just jumped to the bottom layer. But they're still just going to shark. They're still just going to shark and wait for Egg to drop. And now Egg is in trouble because they have a Tetra shooting at them, and they get taken out. And Tentacle Nuke are really going to have to learn to deal with Rem if they are going to win this game. Anarchists did a good job of it last set, and it is a very good test for teams' coordination. Can they deal with a Tetra that is just going to keep jumping in and keep running at you? And so far, Tentacle Nuke Inkbound are struggling with that. It is just green on the Beluga, so they have to just kind of hold as much as they can. They're going to jump back into the BR bomb, though, very well placed. And once again, Tentacle Nuke have a player disadvantage.
Portsmouth Paladins back into pushing forward over and over. Tentacle Nuke in this last minute trying to get back in. They have the advantage of the range thanks to that heavy splatling right there, but that splatling needs to set themselves into mid. Oh, they died to a bomb! That is going to cost them with 30 seconds left into the game. The Paladins are fainting all around, and look at that, they're pushing forward once again.
Yeah, it's the same as before. Tentacle Nuke Inkbound really have to win the next team fight, and Egg is the furthest one pushed up, and they've got a reflux, so I don't know how that's going to go for them, and they do get taken out, and now they've lost 2 players as a BR comes out from Luca on the pro. J-Blast pushing up with the Naught, just really trying to seal this one. I think it's already a done deal because Tentacle Nuke Inkbound just keep losing players. Another convincing performance from Portsmouth Paladins on Turf War Robo-Roman.
Wow.
And that is one of the most one-sided Turf War games at the end, at least, that we've seen, I think.
That map is just painted one single color. That's a huge victory for Portsmouth Paladins. I mean, that's their map, I guess. That is their map where they are so strong. And after that upper bracket finals that they got, has to feel a bit good to be able to win so commandingly. But now we're gonna go to Tentacle Nuke's counter pick. We'll see if they're able to find some momentum right now. They need to be able to counter, as you were saying, Rem, on the side of Paladins. They need to not let all that chaos go their way, and they need to be able to keep themselves on the map.
Yeah, it is. It's such an important kind of I guess skill or trait that a comp team can have, just dealing with players and weapons like like the Tetra and like Rem, where they are just super jumping in constantly. You have to be switched on for the entire game pretty much, and just expect a super jump to come in, but you know, decide how you're going to deal with it. Are you going to try and rush down the super jump, or just kind of let them jump back in and then, you know, expect it and then deal with it after that? Because, you know, you can't just let them do what they want on your side all the time. And you know, even though that was quite a convincing game for Portsmouth Paladins, at least from Tentacle Nuke's perspective, it might not mean anything. If they win the next 2 Tower 4 games, then, you know, that's not even a point gained for on Portsmouth Paladins side for that game. But I mean, it was very convincing. It was worth saying this is a rematch of the winners semi-final. It was Portsmouth Paladins versus Tentacle Nuke, and that one was a 3-0 to Portsmouth Paladins. So, you know, Tentacle Nuke Inkbound do have to bring their best stuff to this one to make another grand final. They did actually come second in 2 of last year's seasons in NSE. Not quite winning, but, you know, I'm sure they'll be quite determined as well to finally get that win. They'll have to topple Portsmouth Paladins and Anarchists to do that, but who's to say? They can definitely do it.
They can do it, but right now it's looking rough. The Paladins opened incredibly strong. Tentacle Nuke is going to answer with Umami Runes, a map that plays a bit differently, where I feel like they'll have the good spots for their heavy splatling. Having the range advantage here can allow your team to really get a lot of ground, thanks to that huge snipe spot that's allowing you to really take control of the map.
Yeah, definitely. It is an interesting one in Tough War. It's quite wide and open. It's quite a lot, bit like Robo Ramen, actually. But yeah, this is Tentacle Nuke Inkbound's pick. So let's see if they do bring anything to this. I seem to remember I think it was actually in the summer tournament, Tentacle Nuke Inkbound always played here in Turf War. I remember seeing it quite a lot, and they did normally have a plan. So we'll see if they bring one to this. So it is advantage Portsmouth Paladins in the Turf War mini set, as it was in the last game they had in winners final. I'm sure they're hoping they can just close this out straight away this time, instead of losing the next 2 Turf War games. But yeah, I think we're just waiting for the players to ready up for this one. I think some people are saying it's not actually in the map list, but I think they might be happy to play it anyway if it's not. But or are they picking? They might be switching the map from what we can see.
Yeah, so it's been it's illegal. They're going to go to Mahi Resort, so it's going to be a reset, and we're finally going to see our classic Turf Wars map, Conro, which is of course Mahi.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think the map list got roughly changed from the summer, because what I said definitely rings true. Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, that's probably why they picked it, because they played it so much over the summer, and they did well on it. But yeah, this match isn't going to get played because they can't pick this map in Turf War. They have picked another one already though, so it shouldn't take too long for us to get into it. As Pat said, we are going to go to Mahi Resort, which for the top bracket we've seen it a bit less, but in the Swiss stage, teams loved this one. It was always game 1. Game 1 of the set would be Turf War Mahi Resort, so it's good to see it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much a well-balanced map where whoever is playing on the team, whatever weapons you have, whatever kind of play style you have, you're going to have fun on here. You're going to have something to do on here, and yeah, that's usually what you want for your team, having a place where everybody is going to have some fun. Everybody will be able to express themselves And of course, at a higher level, which we are watching right there, it's also where teams show advanced strategies because they know they have to expect kinda any kind of strategy and be able to counter it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it is of course that map that has the interesting thing where halfway through the game, much more turf becomes available to paint. And yeah, Tentacle and Kingbound certainly have to watch out for Rem just pushing onto their side. I mean, Rem is probably just going to immediately try and climb onto their platform and paint from there and maybe flank around behind them. But
I mean, we know. We know Rem will be going in. Yeah.
Yeah, Rem will be going in. But even if Rem isn't able to, they have options. They have J Blast, who is a kind of a solid anchor for them in Nautilus today. I said before, I've not seen him on Naut in Turf War, but it's definitely been working for them. It is the longest range weapon they have between J Blast and Luca. They have quite a lot of range to deal with the other team here, and we're just about able to get into it. Not too many changes in terms of main weapons, and not too many on the other side. We do have a wiper. I can't actually remember if they had a wiper in game 1, to be honest, but besides that, there's no changes for the main weapons.
Yeah, right now, both of our teams trying to establish themselves into mid. Of course, the control of top mid could be very good. It looks like J-Blast will be on top right there, which means Tentacle Nuke are surrounded and forced back, and Rem is already going in, dodging a Booyah Bomb, but splatted anyway. That's still the Paladins being able to push forward in front of mid to force Tentacle Nuke to wait in their own spawn before going back forward.
Yeah, J-Blast trying to take position, but they do get punished for it. But it doesn't really matter because Rem, who did get taken out, was able to just super jump straight back in, and they do just jump pretty much just to reposition. They only a couple of feet back from where they were already. But
you can swim. You're allowed to swim.
Could swim, but it's not quite as stylish as super jumping and immediately dodge rolling on the ground. And Tentacle Nuke inbound they're just struggling to get back out of spawn. Sadie's just going to clean up mid on the zap with the super jumps, super chumps, I should say, which is a very helpful special for the front lines like Rem, because you throw the chumps out and suddenly they have to kind of focus on those and shoot those instead of the Tetra that's trying to dodge roll everywhere. And 1496 is just trying to make space for Tentacle Nuke to come back in. The BR bomb's going to help, but they have to make a move at some point. Rem is alone on the left. Are they going to get a pick? There is a fight, and that's a big pick on Rem there.
Yeah, exactly as the water level is dropping, suddenly the game is changing, and Tentacle Nuke have a foothold in mid. Can they use it though? J-Blast is going to win the Nautilus duel and put themselves on top and forward once again. I guess we can expect right now Paladins to retake a lot of control and prepare a lot of paints, especially with more jumps going in. That's Paladin still very much taking control of this map.
Yeah, definitely. That's an important pick on Sadie, though, the main painter for Force Paladins, but Egg isn't able to follow up. Instead, Rem gets a pick and is possibly about to get another one. Out comes the Reef Slide, still not able to get anything, but it was a big help for the teammates there. 2 players down again on Tentacle Nuke Inbound. They basically just have to hope and pray that they win at the next team fight here and have enough time to paint, because Rem is just comfortably sitting on the right, and they've lost 2 players again, and that could well be game at this point, Pat.
Yep, right now, still a lot of control, a lot of presence for the Portsmouth Paladins. Tentacle Nuke trying to paint. There is so much orange on this map, Conroe, and Tentacle Nuke, getting a few splats, will be able to get back into mid. 3 down, but it might be too late, Conroe. They need to paint as much as they can. They throw everything they have. I don't think it's going to be enough.
I can't imagine it would be, unless that spawn paint... No, it doesn't. It's easy. I keep mentioning the spawn paint on Force Paladin side, but it never matters. But yeah, there were about 10 seconds left in the game when Tentacle Nuke Inbound won that fight, and it was too much to do by then. There was far too much of the map in Portsmouth Paladin's favor, and that is going to mean that they take the Turf War mini set and win the first point in the set overall before we go to the ranked modes. But Yeah, honestly, until the last 10 seconds, that didn't play much differently from the first game. I feel like Portsmouth Paladins just knew what they were doing and they were on top most of the time. If there were 20 seconds more in the game, maybe Tentacle Nuke Inkbound would have had time to come back, but yeah, it was just far too late for them at that point.
Yeah, exactly. We finally saw Tentacle Nuke being able to win the fight, to get the push, which is important, which they are going to need to be able to do going into the rank modes. But for now, right here, it is 1-0 for the Portsmouth Paladins. And Tentacle Nuke, a team that can fight, a team that can push, but needs to do it for a whole game, needs to do it and get the points from it.
Yeah, they need to find something to do in the ranked modes here. So it's different rotation from the winners final. We're going to go to Rainmaker first for this one. And I think they've picked a map already. I think they've picked Scorch Gorge, which is another one we've seen quite often. The teams really seem to like Scorch Rainmaker. We've seen it a lot. So we'll have to see what plan Tentacle Nuke Inkbound has. I can imagine at least Egg is going to switch off the Reflux and maybe go to the Dread, which they are a very dangerous Dread player. So I can imagine that happening at least. But besides that, I'm not sure. J-Blast probably going to go back to the Blasters again for the ranked mode because Nautilus does seem to just be a turf war pick for them.
Yeah, I hope Tentacle Nuke goes back to the heavy splatling, to be honest. Because especially on Scorch Gorge, having the range advantage can solidify your team, give you a lot of safety that you wouldn't have otherwise. And in Rainmaker mode that is very, very volatile, having that safety, having that range can allow you to really slow down the opponent whenever you want and be able to control the pace of the game, which is something Tentacle Nuke has been struggling with in that game, especially on Mahi Mahi, where they switched to the Nautilus, which made sure that they had to be in every fight because of that.
Yeah, I can see that being a decent pick for them there if they wanted to go back to that. It's just as long as they don't let Rem kind of run at them with the Tetra, you know. I mean, with a Splatling at least on Scorch, you can certainly take positions that will make it easier. You have the high platform, which most of us call Snipe, I guess, which is underneath the kind of the cage on this one. It is Rainmaker, of course, so the objective is going to move and players are going to have to move with it, but it is a very fast-paced mode, which, I mean, on paper might suit Portsmouth Paladins for how they've been playing, but Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, no doubt, are going to switch up the playstyle now, and Jason has entered the game. We often see that Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, Jason is kind of their captain/coach. They probably have the most comp experience of anyone, and they are on the splatter shot, and I think that's going to be a big help, Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, because they do need some more aggression here.
Splatter shot can have the bombs. Bombs are always useful in Rainmaker, and of course Bazooka can shut down a push with a single shot on the opponent's Rainmaker. But right now, the Paladins are getting a bit of control, are winning a few more fights, and are going to grab the Rainmaker, get themselves to the checkpoint. Again, a trade though, because of that blaster, of course. Tentacle Nuke able to slow things down, but with 2 players down, they won't be able to hold the checkpoint for long. Paladins get through it, and they're gonna get the repop as well.
Yeah, they're going to get the checkpoint. They're probably going to gain a few more points if someone wants to pick up the Rainmaker. They've tried to push forward for more picks first, I think, but that may have backfired here because Tentacle Nuke Inkbound have been able to clean up. And they're still running a bit of an interesting comp with Tentacle Nuke because they basically have 2 backlines between the Heavy Splatling and the Rapid Pro. And of course, the Dread is kind of slow as well. So if Rem is able to get in, they might really struggle to deal with that because they have 3 quite slow weapons, and they have picked up the Rainmaker finally. It's luck with it, and 2 players down now on Tentacle Nuke. It's actually just the 2 backlines left, so I don't know how they're going to do that. Zaid gets a nice pick, and they are able to stop the Rainmaker. They need to get rid of Sadie and J-Blast. J-Blast the last one, but they get 1 pick, and they get taken out. Pretty much a wipeout there, but it is a push to 32nd point. No, it's not a wipeout. Rem was able to jump in. Never mind, it's not a wipe.
It was a wipeout, but they super jumped in time, and Rem is getting more and more splats. The push is still going.
Well, I mean,
What?
it's exactly what we said about playing with
Oh.
the Tetra. You just always have to expect that they'll be jumping in because
Yeah.
they will. And if you're not able to deal with it, you will get punished for it. I think this time, I mean, I don't want to count the chickens, but it might actually be a wipeout this time.
Yeah.
J Blast was pretty much at spawn. They were sharking there, but they are going to drop and go for a pick, but they get punished now. So that's one player down. 4 Portsmouth Paladins. Rem is going to be sharking somewhere, going for a pick, but no, Rem gets taken out as well, and that's a bad
Ooh.
be against the crab tank. Egg being missiled here, just trying to keep the crab tank going at least so they can get the checkpoint, but they're not able to for now. Are they going to be able to follow up and get the burst? They're not going to be able to, and Portsmouth Paladins do pick it up and reset it.
Yeah, that quick reset of the Rainmaker, they don't want to keep it next to the checkpoint right there. That's going to force Tentacle Nuke to move back as the Paladins are getting back control over here. Egg with another crab tank will get a bomb to the back, and that's the Paladins in control of mid with 2 minutes left in the game. They have the whole map. They can do whatever they want right now.
They really can. I just like that it was an auto bomb. I'm quite used to it being like a splat bomb or a Russian bomb that hits the back of the crab tank, but Rem just throws that little chicken bomb and it takes out Egg. Very nice throw, and yeah, Tentacle Nuke Inbound just really struggling with the fast pace of Portsmouth Paladins with the Tetra and the S-Blast and the other 2 players behind them as well. Tentacle Nuke Inbound not even able to get the checkpoint going yet. VR Bomb about to come out from J-Blast to give them a bit more space ahead, but they're not in any big rush right now. They can just wait to get the picks, I think, because Tentacle Nuke Inbound just don't really have the speed for it.
Yeah, and right now, the Rainmaker is going to be reset as we are entering the last minute of the game, and 2 players down onto the Paladins could be an opportunity for Tentacle Nuke to get back in this game, to get that checkpoint. They maintain their presence, their momentum right now. It's going pretty well, but they need to grab the Rainmaker and move forward now as Zayd is able to get enough splats to ensure the checkpoint is broken. It's a wipeout! Tentacle Nuke are coming back. They could get the lead here.
They could. Jason had the Zuka ready, but they just chose to pick it up because I don't think anyone else was there. But they're getting the pick. They're getting the picks. It's just luck, and they're not going to get the pick in time. They brought out the missiles, and Tentacle Nuke Inbound have really only had 1 push this entire game, but it is enough for them to get the lead. 26 is the score to beat now for Portsmouth Paladins. Zayd probably going to go down to the reef slide, and they do, but what a push from Tentacle Nuke Inbound. Portsmouth Paladins, this is going to go to overtime, but are they going to get it done? No, they're not. That stops immediately. Wow. Was that the Splatling that was pushed all the way there?
Yes, I think
wow.
So.
Well, the Splatling didn't want to waste any time. They were just pushed up. So I'm just going to play a frontline position and take out the Rainmaker right then and there. Wow, what a great push from Tentacle Nuke Inbound. And it is 1-1.
Yeah, great move right there. I mean, Portsmouth were in control of most of this game. They were able to get far in. They were able to deny everything from Tentacle Nuke Inbound. But, I mean, on Rainmaker, you make 1 mistake, you lose the game. 1 push is all it takes. And right there, the Tentacle Nuke reminding us of that exact fight. We're able to get further, they were able to get deeper, and are tying up the score. We are now 1-1, and I'm going into the next map, which is going to be chosen by the Paladins.
Yeah, Portsmouth Paladins do get the pick on, I believe it's Clan Blitz, the game 3 we're going to see in this set. But yeah, it was a very good push from Tentacle Nuke. I mentioned earlier about having 2 backlines, but I think for that push they were actually able to set up both of those backlines in decent positions, which is quite easy to do on that map once you can actually set up, because you both just go to snipe, you know, the area below cage, and it's very difficult for the other team coming out of spawn. You can basically just cover it because it's very high ground. And even though Jason picked up the Rainmaker and got splatted, the rest of their teammates just cleaned up again, so they were very easily able to pick up the Rainmaker and keep going. But it is going to be, once again, Barnacle and Dime, the pick coming out from Portsmouth Paladins. It's the same pick they had against Anarchists in the winners final, and they only lost that by 1 point. They got a very close push at the end and not quite able to get over the line. But yeah, it's a very understandable pick from them because they played quite well there, and they're probably just going to hope for the same here, but actually get the point against a team that's not going to town without a fight. They're not going to get swept. Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, they are definitely in this to win and have another go at the Anarchists in the grand final.
Yeah. Great job by Tentacle Nuke getting that victory. They need to get 2 more if they want to go to grand finals. But yeah, as you said, the Paladins, they're confident here. They know this map very, very well, and that is why it's their counter pick right now. Let's see if they're able to do so. But one thing for sure is that, I mean, Tentacle Nuke is waiting for them. Tentacle Nuke is ready for them. So we'll see if they're able to counter them on here. And let's get on with some Clan Blitz.
Yeah, here we go with Clan Blitz Game 3. The V-Dread coming out from Egg. I believe they're on the Horns Dread in the last game, but V-Dread is definitely the weapon I kind of associate them more with. Very aggressive for a V-Dread, and of course they will be reef sliding all the time as well, as I would expect Rem to be doing, of course, on the other team. Sadie bringing out the Snipe Writer for this, the most conventional backline with a lot of paint and a lot of callers and a lot of picks coming out already. It's 2v2 and Egg has that reef slide to go. They don't need it. They're going to take out Sadie, which is a very big pick. And Rem, they're aware of Rem's super jumps. They might have finally clocked onto that, and that is going to be a big help to them winning the game. And Egg, I mean, that's pretty good work. They do get punished for that reef slide, but they take out J-Blast as well, and that's definitely going to help Tentacle Nuke establish control at least first in this game. But can they get a push going? Can they break open the basket?
Yeah, and right now, Tentacle Nuke going in, opening the basket. Wow. What a wipeout! What moves! That's a heavy splatling. Going frontline pretty much and getting the results. Tentacle Nuke are going to not only deal the first blow, they get past the 60-point mark. They keep scoring a bit more, and Paladins are struggling. It feels like they are struggling to defend right now.
They really are. I mean, what I said about them bringing 2 backlines, I take it back because I think this heavy is a front line, actually. I think they've got a new idea with the heavy splatling. They finished the last game in Rainmaker by just taking a frontline position, and they just got in the face of 2 players there and got the pick on both of them. So, yeah, incredible work from, what are the numbers? 1496, I think, for Tentacle Nuke Inkbound. So, but yeah, Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, very good work for the first push. They're just down to Jason and Egg right now on the Dread, but I don't think Paladins are quite set up for a push. And Jason's just flanking. That's a big trade, honestly. Ren is pushing up as they always do. Oh no, 1496 again. How have they won that? No idea, but Portsmouth Paladins aren't able to get a push off that.
The heavy splatling, when it doesn't have its charge, it's in danger, but with a full charge, it's so dangerous. You don't want to face it, and yeah, it can mow you down pretty fast. Right now, the Paladins are in positions to push in. They're waiting for the way in, and with 2 players down, 3 players down, it's on the Egg going in with the Rift Slider, able to get some, but not enough. It's a wipeout. The Paladins have lost a lot of clams though, and they're gonna open the basket, but I don't think they can get the lead. They need to go back for more.
They do need to go back for more. That was a very important reef slide. They were able to slow down the push enough. They got a couple of picks, and Portsmouth Paladins, they've still got a lot of control here, so they could definitely push again off this. But for now, they're going to stay behind with 20 penalty points, which isn't a lot. It's just 1 power clam to break it, and then 3 more clams to take the lead. And Zayd is preoccupied with Ren and some other players, and this is another push coming out from Paladins, getting the picks, and J-Blast is going to throw a couple of clams in to take the lead, and they're still getting more. It's just Zayd on the Rapid Pro somewhere trying to stop this push, but Portsmouth Paladins have so much space now, and J-Blast is going to come in with more.
And right now, the Paladins are still extending their lead. They're losing a lot of players, but they are getting more and more points. Luck forced out, pushed away with that Forge Pro, is going to be sent back to spawn even. And I mean, Paladins have gotten the lead, but Tentacle Nuke have a lot of ground and a lot of clams being passed on right there. That's a counter push going in. They don't have no penalty on them. And now they're just trying to get more clams in as they are maintaining their numbers advantage.
They are, and they get the
Whoa.
power clam in. Rem was too far behind that power clam carrier. And once again, this Splatling is just top left, putting so much pressure on Ports of Paladin's side. 2 more clams.
Ooh.
I think they're going to do it here. They can throw these 2 in, and they do. Tentacle Nuke Inkbound with a huge push there to not just take the lead back, but to close out the game. 2-1 to Tentacle Nuke Inkbound. 1 more game, and they will essentially score an upset here and make the grand final.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this stream, the Portsmouth Paladins were undefeated in this season. And right now, they are on the verge of being eliminated from the tournament in 3rd place. Both Anarchist and Tentacle Nuke Inkbound. I guess both of these teams prepared to face the Paladins because they were the team to beat the team, to prepare against the team to lab, to understand. And right now, the Portsmouth Paladins are back to the wall. If they lose another game, it would be their last.
Yeah, it will be. They are definitely backs against the wall, and they have not been in this position the entire season. Just suddenly tonight, they lost the first game tonight, and they potentially going to lose the second, and then that'll just be the tournament for them until the spring edition. But we are going to go to tower control, and of course it is Portsmouth Paladins pick, and once again they are going to pick Inkblot Art Academy as they did against Anarchist. And again, it was very close against Anarchist. Anarchist only really took control towards the end, so it's definitely an understandable pick. But yeah, I mean, are we going to see any big changes? Probably not. I mean, I think even Portsmouth Paladins are quite comfortable with the weapons they pick. They just need to get it done, so to speak. You know, with the weapons they're using, just be a bit more coordinated and just deal with Tentacle Nuke Inkbounds. I mean, they're doing really well for the weapons they're playing. I can't believe some of the fights this heavy Splatling is winning, just because it's not a position where you'd expect the heavy Splatling to win, but they are. So Portsmouth Paladins have to win 2 games in a row to get another chance at the Anarchists. So yeah, it's a very exciting losers final here.
Yeah, for sure. And the Portsmouth Paladins, as you were saying, they're sticking to the plan. They're keeping the counter picks that they had in the upper bracket finals. They know these maps. They know they're the best maps for them. And right there, Tentacle Nuke are already waiting. Paladins very much knowing, okay, we need to go to the maps we know how to play. They're facing losing, so might as well go to the most familiar that they can, even if it's the map they're already lost on today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it didn't turn them off Barnacle and Dime. They lost there twice, and they're still going to go to Inkblot, even though they've lost there already. So they clearly have a plan, and they're confident it's going to work. Both Inkblot and Barnacle, to be fair, were quite close against Anarchist. You know, they were very close to winning both of those. So, you know, you have to respect when a team has that kind of confidence. They can definitely do it. You know, Rem is going to be constantly trying to get to their platform to do something. Is Sadie going to switch off the pencil? I think normally they're on Splatling, aren't they, the edit? So maybe that comes back out here because it is a slightly more aggressive option. It's a little bit easier to get splats with the edit once it gets going, and they are going to go back to the edit. And Tentacle Nuke Inkbound aren't going to change that double backline, except not that double backline comp they've been running with the heavy Splatling, just playing as a frontline instead. Yeah.
I mean, calling the Blaster Pro a backline is like it can do the job of a backline sometimes, but it's not a real backline. And right now, Tentacle Nuke already getting a few splats, already pushing forward. They have no fear. They want to go in. Here comes the answer by the Paladins, fighting them near that tower, 2 down. An egg, the last squid, reef sliding to their death. That's the Paladin answering pretty well right now. And now trying to get some paint around, preparing their own push. They have the cooler ready, Conro. So I guess we're gonna get back on the tower.
Yeah, they do have the caller. They've got to get the pick, so the heavy is mid, and they get taken out. 3 players down. It is just Egg on the Dread, and they get taken out as well. Really good recovery from Ports of Paladins after a start. And I was going to say at the start, I feel like Tentacle Nuke Inbound just knew that Rem and someone else were going to go left, because all 4 of them kind of just went to the platform and were shooting that way. So I think they may have actually been prepared for it from Rem. But a little bit later down the line, and Ports of Paladins have recovered. The picks just keep coming out from J-Blast and Rem, a very aggressive duo for the Ports of Paladins, determined to take this to game 5, and they're doing a really good job of it so far. They have so much control, but now they've lost Luck and J-Blast, so it might just be a matter of time until this push is over. But that is a very solid push. But the splashdown gets 2. J-Blast was able to jump back in with the call. I think they must have been caller, because they had that splashdown ready to go, and Egg goes down as well. So even though the tower is backing up, I think they're just going to get back on it, and the push is going to continue.
Yeah, more push coming, and J-Blast so dangerous with that blaster right there, 2 down on Tentacle Nuke. The Paladins simply riding the tower forward to get more and more and more. They are the 3rd checkpoint, and Tentacle Nuke defending as much as they can, but will it be enough? All of the Paladins are still jumping in, trying to get more, Conroe.
Definitely trying to get more. This is a really good position for Ports of Paladins, because they will just keep super jumping back in. It's not really a big loss at this point if they get wiped out, so they might as well just keep trying to jump in and keep this push going. It's just Rem and J-Blast one after the other, and Sadie supporting from the anchor position as well. And that is exactly what they've done. I mean, they super jump in. They might get picked off, but everyone else is just establishing this, and the tower is not going to get reset, because Tentacle Nuke Inbound still just trying to come back in. I think someone dropped in, got a pick at least, but they got taken out straight away. And another pick coming out. But again, the splashdown, I think that got a pick on the heavy, who was probably trying to camp it. And they're just constantly jumping back in. I mean, Tentacle Nuke Inbound can't deal with it.
They are not stopping. They don't know fear. They want more fights. Right now, Tentacle Nuke trying to get to the checkpoint, but punished by the blaster, of course. J-Blast to the side is waiting for more fights. I mean,
oh my goodness.
I mean, the Reef Slider was there to stop it, but here comes another Reef Slider to get back in the fight for Ram. And right now, and every time Tentacle Nuke is starting to get some momentum to do something, there's someone from the Paladins to simply force them to look to the side, Conroe.
Yeah, I mean, that is how you have to fight against Tetra. And then Rem gets another one as well, going for a second. But even if they can't get the pick, they're just going to stay alive and distract Tentacle Nuke, who are at least able to get it through one checkpoint. But they have lost 2 players here, and now Zay goes down as well. So it's just Jason on the side, and they are going to super jump out rather than try and fight that. And now Egg drops in. Egg drops in alone, trying to get something going. And to be fair, they do get the pick, and they are still going. They have the... they did have the restart ready. I think they used it. And they were getting some picks on Ports of Paladins there, but Egg does go down. Sadie in the anchor position, fighting the other Splatling, and they do win that one. It's probably I'm going to assume that's Rem jumping in, but they do get the pick on that. I think it was Jason, actually. I got the teams wrong there. But Ports of Paladin are just in a very comfortable position. They haven't looked like losing this one at all, even though Tentacle Nuke did get through the first checkpoint. And again, they're just going to push tower with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, 15 seconds left, and the Paladins, they look solid. They look more confident than they ever were. And now with another splashdown, Tentacle Nuke will get one final shot at the tower. With all the Paladins, all they need to do right now is defend that 3rd checkpoint. They don't even need to defend the 2nd Conroe. And right now, Tentacle Nuke doing whatever they can, going in, getting into the fight. Egg is going to miss though. Oh, the splashdown. Oh wait, no, that was a Reef Slider.
Oh my goodness, what's happening? What's happening? Everyone just went down again,
Everyone
except for Jason. What has happened here? They're so close to taking this lead back. Can
Oh!
come back in? 6 more points. Egg goes down. It's just
Oh!
Zaid. Oh my goodness. How did that happen at the end? I mean, I saw a splashdown come out from
3
J-Blast, who
points.
must have been close to the tower, but they weren't quite on it, and they got picked off, I think, as they tried to climb on the tower. And it was just pro versus pro for a minute there.
Yeah.
Everyone got splattered except Jason and Luck, and they had a team fight, and Jason won it. I mean, that was wow. That was so scary for Portsmouth Paladins. They almost lost after all of that.
Now that's what you call too close for comfort right now. That 3 points was all that separated these two teams in the end. The Tentacle Nuke was so close to getting the comeback, and the Portsmouth Paladins still alive, but very much bleeding, sweating, scared of what this Tentacle Nuke can do at any second. They know they're not allowed to blink, they're not allowed to make a mistake, because Tentacle Nuke are waiting for them at every single corner. And I mean, Portsmouth Paladins had built a lead throughout all of this game, and thankfully so, because I mean, that could have been the end of it.
Yeah, it really could have been. I mean, it did look like Tentacle Nuke were forming a solid push at the end. That was just after the team fight. All 3 teammates of Jason's just coming back in. I think luckily on the side of Portsmouth Paladins, their wipeout was just about staggered enough that they could just, there was someone able to come back in and deal with those super jumps as well. It was just absolute chaos. I really thought, because, I mean, Portsmouth Paladins, they only had one special that might be considered, a GG special in tower control, which was the Booyah Bomb on the Pro, but I don't think they had it ready. I think that was the issue. So they weren't really sitting back. They were just taking the fight. At the end there. They did live the longest, to be fair. It was Luck and Jason who just had a 1v1 on the tower. But yeah, it did almost cost them, just the lack of that special to really probably would have killed off the game for Tentacle Nuke Inkbound, but they were just about able to recover enough. And they're going to have to recover mentally and emotionally after that one, as we are going to go into game 5 in the losers final to decide which team is going to go into the grand final. And we are going to go to Urchin Underpass for the Splat Zones game.
Yep. Our first Splat Zones game of the night, and we go to Urchin, a map that plays so differently from any other Splat Zones. This is the Splat Zones where people usually ditch the backline and favor the Dapple Julies quite often. This is how fighty this map is, how much scrap you're gonna have. And yeah, we'll see how these two teams do. Not much of a change in terms of comps between these teams, but let's see how these players will be able to fight. Wait, that's a double bucket for Tentacle Nuke.
It is a double bucket, yeah. Jason is I know Slosher is one of their main weapons, and I definitely kind of understand the pick here. Slosher is good here, and 2 players down. The 2 aggro players down for Paladins, and suddenly that's pretty much all of their aggro gone, because they have, besides that, a edit, well, they do have a pro as well, but I'm not sure where they were at the start of that. And yeah, Tentacle Nuke starting this one really well. I was going to say it's an understandable pick as well with Egg on the Dread. It's a very good map for both the Dread and Reef Slide, of course, just to flip the zone back over very quickly, and they've pushed it down to almost 50 already. Rem is trying to go in just to get a pick. And now J-Blast is going to get punished for that splashdown. It worked well for them last game, but so far this game it has not. And Tentacle Nuke Inkbound are really taking this to Portsmouth Paladins, who are 3 down again. This could well be game. They've pushed it down to 30. Sadie's desperately trying to get something going. Are they going to be able to, though? This could be game pat straight away.
They're so strong right now all around the zone. The Booyah Bomb forced them to move back, and here comes the Reef Slider to paint, but the Reef Slider is not enough. Oh, thankfully the rest of the team was able to follow through. 3 points remaining. The Paladins are alive, but hanging on by a thread right now. They need to get KO. They need to not let Tentacle Nuke back onto the zone now. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
they really do. They have lost 2 players, though. They're going to have to do it a little bit later because Tentacle Nuke Inbound are going to take back the zone. Really nice pick from Sadie, though. Sadly, they do get picked off by ex-teammate, but that was really well done from them in a fight that you would normally expect that weapon to lose. And Portsmouth Paladins just trying to come in together. Of course, they know that they're against a Dread with Reslide, so they're really just gonna have to push up once they have control and get the picks, so that they can't just use Reslide on the zone. They do take control back for now. Really nice pick from Luck there, and they're gonna have to just push up and go for a few more. They are cooled right now, Tentacle Nuke down, so there's not too much punishment, and that is a nice pick. I think Rem is trying to flank on the 2 buckets there, but suddenly it's 3 players down again on Portsmouth Paladins, and they lose Sadie on the Splatling as well. So again, it's just Tentacle Nuke Inkbound who have made a really strong start to this game, taking control of the zone.
Yeah.
Rem trying to flank, and the reslide comes out, and it is 2 down to Tentacle Nuke.
Yeah, Paladin still in this game, still able to get a few good splats. That's 3 down on Tentacle Nuke Inkbound as the Portsmouth Paladins are finally being able to move forward. Look at Rem being so far up right there and winning the fights as well. The Paladins have control of the whole map right now, no penalty, and it's suddenly the Tentacle Nuke Inkbound that's struggling to get back forward.
It is, but they can't let Egg on this Dread drop to mid. They have dropped to mid and they have a reslide ready. They are not able to punish it, but it doesn't flip the zone. The reslide doesn't flip the zone, and suddenly Tentacle Nuke on the back foot. They're really trying to take this zone back, but they can't. 3 players down. 3 players down. Pretty much a wipeout. Portsmouth Paladins. Incredible comeback from the Paladins after a rough start to the game. Rem was able to set up on the far left, which was just huge. It did stop, for the most part, the players coming and flanking on the right. Mr. Egg was able to get down, but I think the reef slide just either wasn't in the middle of the zone, or it just didn't cover enough of the zone in the first place. Somehow that zone did not flip, and Portsmouth Paladins just cleaned up after that to overcome the deficit they put themselves in at the start of the game, and they will be going to grand final after an incredible 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, the Paladins, they were expected to win this set, but they barely survived it, scraping their way back to a victory. 3-2. They were down 2-1 at some point, but they pulled through. They got it, and I mean, what a victory for them. Which means we are going to go to grand finals, where we will see what is going to be very much the classic of this NSE winter season. It is, of course, going to be the Portsmouth Paladins going against the Anarchists.
Yeah, it will be. For the 4th time this season, these 2 teams will play against each other. 2 of them have gone to Game 5. Winners final was 3-0 to Anarchists, so Portsmouth Paladins probably going to come back to this one with a plan. It will be there won't be a bracket reset. Instead, it will be a best of 7, and Anarchists will automatically take Game 1. It's kind of a weighted final, so they'll start the match 1-0 up, if you like. So, but yeah, we'll go to a quick break now, and we'll be back very shortly for the grand final of NSE Winter, Portsmouth Paladins versus Anarchists. Don't go anywhere, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to the NSE UK University Splatoon League. It's time for the grand final of the Winter Edition 2025. We have Anarchists versus Portsmouth Paladins. I'm Conroe, and I'm here with Pat. It has been double elimination, but this is a weighted final. There won't be any bracket reset. Anarchists just win game one because they are here as the winners, and it will be a best of 7. We are still doing a turf war mini set to decide the next game, so Portsmouth Paladins will either get it to 1-1 through the turf war mini set or go 2-0 down. And until tonight, Pat, Portsmouth Paladins were the team to beat, but Anarchists beat them 3-0 in the winners final. So what are Portsmouth Paladins going to bring to this one to kind of turn it around and see them back on as the top team for this season?
As you said, Conroe, Anarchists are coming in very, very strong tonight and doing what they need to do to get the victory. They already have 1 point in the bag now going into turf wars. Without much surprise, we're going to go to Rubber Roman. So we've seen this. We know Portsmouth is able to beat Anarchists, at least on turf wars. That was the mode where they were able to get the upper hand. So we'll see how things go. But let's get right in the game already.
Yeah, so Portsmouth Paladins have always picked the very first game in every single set tonight, and they've always gone here. And the previous 2 times they've won. So they clearly have a plan here that is working. Is Nebula in the game now? Nebula is in the game now. I don't think they were playing in the winners final, but Nebula is a used to be a very good comp player. They don't play quite as much anymore, but technically they are still one of the reigning UK champs, because our last championship was a couple of years ago and Nebula was on the winning team. So
Yep.
so they have that going for them. A very strong Nautilus player, and it's now 0v0 because J-Blast is still on it, but they get taken out and Rem is backed into a corner, and it's almost a team wipe coming out. Very strong start from Anarchists.
Yeah, Tame got a huge opening with that Decapitator. Certainly a player to pay attention to if you want to survive on the side of the Paladins. Right now, Anarchists have control over mid, but the Paladins are already going back forward, trying to get some more. And we're already past the first minute, and both of these teams are still trying to get back in there.
Yeah, they are. The Portsmouth Paladins have been able to get back in a little bit here, at least. The Tacticaller is out for the Anarchist. Mesmerizer, aka Snipes, trying to take a good position to get a snipe on Ren, who I think dropped into the pit area there, but suddenly it's just the pro. That actually, that was Luca down there in the pit on the pro, just trying to fight for their lives here. I think they eventually get picked off. So Portsmouth Paladins a little bit staggered right now. They just need to make sure they, group up properly as they try and come back into this one. J-Blast and Rem trying to set up. Rem is going to try and distract, but they get taken out quite quickly. But they do at least take out Tame, so that is a little bit of room for them. They don't have to worry about a Sharking Decav for now, trying to come back in. But there is a lot of sub weapons, a lot of suction bombs coming out from Anarchist side to keep Portsmouth Paladins on their side of the map. And again, they've lost Rem, so that they're just constantly players down right now.
Yeah, it feels like the Anarchists really figured out how to take these fights, how to really shut things down, and right now simply waiting for the next mistake that the Portsmouth Paladins are going to make. Right now the chumps are neutralized pretty quickly, and that's 3 down once again. Ram, the last squid for the Paladins, is forced into a corner as Tame is keeping control of that chokehold and not letting the Paladins get back in.
Yeah, Tame set up a very good big bubbler there. Rem just super jumping back to regroup from the team, and they're all just going to try and push in from the right-hand side for this pushback. The reef slide, not sure if that got caught on the wall or if it was just a bit of desync there, but the reef slide not quite able to get anyone either way. And it's all going to be about this next team fight. Portsmouth Paladins have just very gradually got themselves back into this, but they've lost 2 players again. Snipes jumping back somewhere. They've lost 3 players now. It's just J-Blast, and I can't imagine there's going to be any time for them to do anything at this point. So Anarchists continuing as they have been today, and it will be game 1 of the tough war mini set going their way.
The Anarchists are incredibly fast, incredibly strong, and the Portsmouth Paladins have not figured out yet. They don't yet know how to adapt to things, and the fact that Nebula is not that rusty might have something to do with that as well.
Yeah, sometimes it just never leaves you, the ability to play this game, especially on Nautilus. I mean, I feel like I've only ever seen Nebula play Nautilus. It is their weapon, so they will probably stay on it. You can see the gold X rank badge, which is in terms of clout, it's probably the most clout badge you could put on your name. Getting top 10 in X rank is very difficult. It takes a lot of ability and a lot of time as well. So yeah, I've not seen Nebula play at all this season, so I don't know if they've just come out for the grand final. They are always on their roster, but I don't know how busy they are these days. But yeah, Anarchists with a strong showing in game 1. They are actually the reigning champions in NSE at the moment, because they won they won the summer edition. Fun fact, actually, these 2 teams won the last 2 summer editions. Portsmouth, I think they were called Pompey Paladins. Pompey basically means it's another word for Portsmouth. They won summer 2024. I actually think Jess was the only one on the team, so make that as what you will, but it can count. They've got the same team name, so it is this team inherited. And I think on paper, at least, this team would probably, I mean, a lot of people thought Portsmouth Paladins were the strongest team on paper going into this, because all 4 of their players have comp experience at a really good level.
One
Anarchists as well have good players, so
one thing to say about Portsmouth is that out of the 35 teams that registered for this season, 5 of those teams were from Portsmouth. They're just a powerhouse of Splatoon. 2 Portsmouth teams were in this top cut in this Division 1. Both the Paladins and the Palafins were here. And yeah, that's this is very much the Splatoon center of the UK right here.
Yeah, it's quite funny to think about. I don't know how that happened, but it just happened. Portsmouth had like what was it? You said 5 teams into this tournament.
Yeah.
It was a lot, and I mean, I can say when Portsmouth did win that summer one, I think they had some players that are now on the other teams. I think Palafins, I think Dudatud was on the winning team, and they played on Portsmouth Palafins this season. So yeah, everyone just flocking to the University of Portsmouth, I guess, if they like Splatoon. A lot of teams going in. I think Anarchists are the only team from their uni, which it's left my head right now. I'm so sorry, Anarchist. Can't quite remember.
Let me check. I have no memory. It's Staffordshire.
Staffordshire, that's the one. Yeah, I think Anarchists have historically just always been the team from Staffordshire. They've pretty much always had Snipes playing for them. Nebula is normally here as well. I think they've had quite a established roster for a while. I know that the summer edition of this does allow for alumni as well, as in players that went to that uni but they've graduated. The winter and the spring editions are just for players that are there studying. So yeah, these are just for the studying players. And we're going to go to Macamat again, which I think, again, Portsmouth Paladins have picked this before it is their pick because they lost the previous map. And how did it go here before? I think, again, Anarchists won from what I remember. So Paladins really aren't afraid to pick maps they've lost on.
I mean, they kind of have to. We don't have that many maps on the list right there, and we'll see how things go. The Paladins, did they learn a bit? I remember that Tame was incredibly dangerous with that decavitator here, just popping out from basically every wall that this map has. There was a decavitator ready to run at everybody, and right now Tame has taken control of mid with that bubbler and is allowing the rest of the team to go in, but the Paladins are answering the call, winning the fight, and it looks like they're pushing the Anarchists away.
Yeah, they are. Decent start for Portsmouth Paladins. They have changed their comp up a little bit. Luca is now on the bucket, which I don't think we've seen them on it today at least, and Tame has actually gone to where we've normally seen Tame on this map, flanking around the side with the decav, but they do get spotted and punished by a couple of Portsmouth Paladins players there who have started this game really well. J-Blast still staying on the Nautilus, giving Nebula something to think about on who might be the better Nautilus player for now. Nebula's just on the Ink Rail. Oh, but they get punished really nicely from Luca there, spotting them on the slosher, and it's just 2 sloshes, very accurate to get the job done. So Nebula's going to have to respawn, and now the caller's out for Portsmouth Paladin, so they've started this one really well.
Yeah, and right there, the Anarchists are trying to come back, pushing back with that Booyah Bomb. They're able to get back in mid for the fight, and they get 2 splats for control right now. It's only J-Blast left to defend. J-Blast is splatted as well. The Anarchists take back the control. We're about to enter the last minute of the game, and the Anarchists are back in control, painting all around with that reflux.
They are. They have lost 1 player through Nebula goes down, and Snipes, I mean, the reflux probably isn't going to be able to get too many kills by itself. They do have a BR bomb ready, which they're really holding on to that BR bomb for a while, and they actually aren't going to be able to get it out because they get taken out by Rem on the Julies, who does get splatted trying to push up. But I think by then it's job done, really, because Portsmouth Paladins have been able to set up. J-Blast gets forced off right stack. They're going to have to be careful about fighting that because Anarchists have been able to come back in, and they actually lose Luca. And if they lose J-Blast and Rem as well, this could be curtains for them. A very important pick on the Zap, and it's all going to come to this final fight after that.
It's pretty close right now, but the Anarchists still have a lot of players on the ground. Rem is behind everybody though with these Tetras, getting the splats. They have the splashdown ready. That's going to allow them to paint a lot. Meanwhile, the rest of the team got splatted. Wait, the Paladins coming back in this game. And the Anarchists, I feel like they lost a lot in that final moment. This could be a tie up. Oh, that's a messy map once again.
Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
1%, 1.1% in it. Portsmouth Paladins doing enough at the end. We were focusing on Rem with the flank, not sure what was happening in mid, but suddenly a lot of Anarchist players, except Nebula, I think everyone except Nebula got taken out,
Yeah.
and it was just enough time for Portsmouth Paladins to paint enough of the map. Really good final push from them to win on Turf War Macomart, trying to get that first point back. Of course, they start this set 1-0 down because they're in from the loser's side, but if they win the next one, it's essentially the set tied up.
Yep. It could be the set tied up. It could be a 2-0 for the Anarchist, though, which is very dangerous, especially since we're going to go on to a pick by the Anarchists themselves, who are going to decide what map decides this Turf Wars game right here. Now, the Anarchists still have several maps to choose from, but yeah, I mean, right now, Paladins have their head back in the game. They're able to win their fights. They're able to push in and paint around. They need to do it for the whole game now.
Yeah, they do. Which map are we going to see here? I can't actually remember what map the Anarchists picked. I think it might have been Macomart actually in the last set we had. But yeah, no, I can't remember. Oh, we saw
I think it
Humpback.
was Mako. Oh yeah, there was Humpback. Yeah.
Yeah, they picked Humpback, and I guess they might do it again. That was their pick before. What are the options here? Mahi Resort, Inglot Art Academy, Humpback Pump Track, and Marlin Airport. I think they should pick Marlin Airport just to be just to be different. We get to see Marlin Airport. It's I think out of all these maps, Marlin Airport is the one we've seen the least for Turf War. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine they'll pick that. They'll probably pick Humpback again.
I mean, Humpback would be a good spot. They won on it in the previous set that they played. But yeah, that's everything's possible. Everything's on the okay. Well, we're going to Mahi. We're going back to the classic to decide it all, I guess.
Yeah, well, we had to see it in the grand final. I feel like it's the best way to close out this map, because we have seen it a lot in this tournament, and it will be the last Turf War map we see. This tournament. So we are going to go to Mahi Resort, which is Portsmouth Paladin. Sorry, not Portsmouth Paladin. Anarchists pick this map because they lost the last map. And if they win this one, they'll go 2-0 up in the overall set. And if they don't, it will be 1-1. And essentially, we'll just start a set of ranked modes with these teams even.
To be honest, Conroe, I don't know how I feel about picking this map. Like, I love this map, don't get me wrong, but it's a map that is good for everybody. And if it's good for everybody, that means you probably want to counterpick something else. You want to counterpick something that is good only for you. And right there, it's a map that we've seen a lot, that both of these teams have prepared a lot. I guess this is the map where the Anarchists go, okay, we have things prepared. We think that on our fundamentals, we can play better than you, and we want to show it on the classic map.
Yeah, that might honestly be what they're going for. I know it's quite a good map for Nautilus here. We saw J-Blast do it in their set, where they just kind of went top mid straight away. And both these teams presumably are going to have a Nautilus here, so they might be fighting for that. But it's definitely been a solid pick as always for J-Blast. It worked last game. I mean, on Macomart. And we might see them just trying to establish dominance top mid already. I can see two players really going for it. I think that might be J-Blast top mid already, and it is trying to fight Nebula, who didn't quite rush to top mid. They took a slower approach, but they're going to take advantage of those missiles because J-Blast was forced away.
Ooh.
And I mean, that was good patience there for Nebula not to just go straight to top mid, because they've waited for the missiles, and now they're in a really good position.
Yeah, right now the Anarchists very solidly taking control over mid, but all of the Paladins... Oh, wait! Tame going in. Tame is punished for 2 down onto the Anarchists. J-Blast is back on top, providing support to the rest of the team. Right now, the Anarchists are kind of forced away from mid as the Paladins are pushing back in. Oh, as I say that, with the bubbler and all the presence, the Anarchists were able to respawn. And right now, it's still anybody's game as... Oh, wait, 2 down on the Paladin. The Anarchists are very much taking back control, painting around, and trying to push in once again. Oh, wait, they're already in.
Yeah, they are. When the camera was on J-Blast,
Yeah.
Tame was actually sharking on the left, and I don't think they spotted them, and Tame suddenly takes out the Zap and the Nautilus, and is very quickly able to rush their side. So Portsmouth Paladins back to square one, really. They're just all coming out of spawn. Rem is just trying to get something going on the right, but they get punished by Nebula, who knows exactly how to play the range of the Nautilus against a Tetra, so that is going to be very difficult to deal with. They just seem to be, you know, guarding this left side, making sure Rem or anyone else is not going to just drop left and get anything for it. Setting up really well, spacing really well with the Nautilus. That's the other Nautilus on the other team comes through. 2 players down actually for Anarchists, so Nebula is just really trying to hold. Tame able to jump in, but Portsmouth Paladins have slightly got back into this one with just less than a minute left.
Yeah, last minute, the music has changed, and right now the fights are raging. It looks like the Anarchists are able to get a bit more. We're still fighting for it. Sadie able to hang to some ground with the Zap, as the rest of the Paladins are coming back in to get the fight. The splat on the reflux is so important right now, and Rem getting the splash down, getting the splats. That is big. The Paladins are painting around. 25 seconds left, and the Anarchists need to get back into mid.
They do. Snipes is just trying to paint as much as possible. They're surely going to get another missiles out before the end of this, and they're probably just going to have to push with those right at the end to get something going. 2 players down there for Portsmouth Paladins. One of them has been missiled as well. Snipes is trying to paint, but they've lost players all of a sudden. What has happened? The remaining players, J-Blast top mid, Rem going into the other team's spawn. And that looks like Portsmouth Paladins to me.
Yep. That looks like it indeed. The Portsmouth Paladins are going to take the game number 3 of Turf Wars, which means they tie up the score. We are now 1-1, and we can say goodbye to Turf Wars shenanigans. We are now in ranked modes for the rest of this grand finals.
Yeah, we are. We're just going to see the ranked modes from here. It is a best of 7 final as opposed to best of 5, so one of these teams is going to have to get to 4 points to win the tournament, and we will be starting with splat zones. But again, a very tight game from these two, only really decided at the very end. I did think, you know, 2 players down for Portsmouth Paladins as Snipes got the missiles ready, but not really sure what happened. Anarchists just suddenly lost all of their players. It may have been J-Blast top mid doing some work with the Nautilus, but either way, it just wasn't enough for Anarchists to come back in. And we did actually switch to Rem at the end, who had suddenly worked their way all the way onto Anarchist side of the map with Reef Slide right in their spawn. Right at the end of the game, Rem was able to do what what Rem wants to do, which is just get into their spawn.
Yeah, and Rem switching during that Turf Wars to the Emperor Julies instead of the Tetras really gave them more firepower, really allowed them to fight stronger, to be more dangerous. And the Anarchists were happy to dodge Rem, to ignore Rem and let Rem be behind them sometimes. You can't do that when it's Emperors. Emperors are too dangerous. You're not allowed to ignore them, and Rem won a lot of fights thanks to that. Which is allowing the Paladins to tie up the score. Now, without further ado, let's get to the ranked mode. Let's get to splat zones, which apparently is going to be on Umami Runes. So let's get right into there. Double zones, 2 zones for the price of 1, Conroe.
Yeah, definitely. Umami wasn't allowed to be a turf war map, but it can be a zone map. I think one of the teams tried to counterpick this on turf war earlier today, but they couldn't because it wasn't a turf war set. But yeah, it is. They are allowed to do it in splat zones, and it is Anarchists' pick as they lost the previous game. But yeah, it is all tied up. If it goes to game 7, this one we will be seeing splat zones again. Splat zones is the mode we might see twice, but Yeah, it should be a very close set. I mean, it already has been fourth set between these two teams. We could see what 19 games, I think, between these two by the end of this season, which is crazy stuff. But I mean, it's deserved because they are very close. I mean, even the 3-0 that Anarchist had was, I think, two of them were decided by 1 point or something, weren't they? So, you know, it's very close between these two teams. They are the first and second seed, and they've shown it. Portsmouth Paladins definitely had a scare in the losers final, but they had to grind out when they had to be fair, and they have got back and here to challenge Anarchist already because they have claimed the turf war point. But let's see how they do going into the ranked modes.
Yeah, everything changes when you go ranked. Rem is back to the Tetras. They want to go faster around. They want to create more aggro, more opportunities. We'll see if that is working their way. And I know that Snipes is back to the Rapid Pro. Between Snipes and Nebula, there's a lot of mid-range action for the Anarchists, Monroe.
Yeah, there is. They have a lot of that kind of mid-range covered, and it was something that Paladins were really struggling against with the Anarchist in the winners final. You know, and they didn't even have Nebula back then. That was just Snipes on the Rapid Pro that was a struggle to deal with. Rem not able to get the reslide out. They were punished before that was able to activate, but they still got the zones for now. Nebula fighting Luca. Luca, I think, was just desperately trying to shark there, but not able to. And it's a double for Nebula. They take out Rem as well, and now Anarchist are going to push up. It could be a triple. Teammate cleans up on J Blast, and yeah, really good start for the Anarchist now as they try and get set up and lock out Portsmouth Paladins here.
Yeah, right now the Anarchist still holding strongly to the zone as Ram is of course moving forward once again, not able to activate that Reef Slider. That Reef Slider could have caused a lot of damage. That's huge, but the Anarchists were able to cancel it, and now they are getting all the splats and pushing forward with. As they are getting past 50, that is a big advantage right now. Paladins need to win their fight. They need to go forward, and it looks like they are struggling still in their own spawn to get momentum, Conroe.
Yeah, they're really struggling here to get back in. J-Blast is just trying to get a pick, but those players were able to retreat, which is very important. And the rain, that was a really well-placed Ink Storm, because that is going to slow down Paladins as they desperately try and get back in. They have lost their decav, but they need to paint one of the zones at least. The replay comes out, they're able to paint it. They're going to have to get both. It's just the Rapid Pro now, Snipe, so they are going to have to back up, and surely Sadie is going to come up with the pencil and paint that. They need to remember the right side of the zone. Oh, actually, no, Tame came back. It could be the game. What? Okay. That's the game going to Anarchists. They weren't able to paint both zones in time. Tame was able to jump to someone before they got splattered, and I guess that's why Anarchists picked that map, because the double zones definitely helped them out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the Anarchists simply keeping control of one of the zones just to make sure that they could come back in time and grab the other. The Paladins are so close right there to saving themselves. They had one zone, they almost had the other, but a bit too slow, not able to get that comeback. And yeah, in the end, the Anarchists just playing the objective a bit better there. I mean, they had a better pace, better fights, but it was in the end their control of the objective, their mastery of the double zone that allowed them to get that victory and seal the deal, which means they are up 2-1 going into Rainmaker, and no hesitations from Portsmouth. We are going to Undertow Spillway.
Yeah, we are Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. Again, I think it's a good decision by them. I've definitely seen them play this one a lot. It definitely kind of it should work to their very fast playstyle they have with Rem and J-Blast, just pushing up as fast as possible. It is Rainmaker. It's a very volatile mode, which kind of ended up working against them against Tentacle and Kinkbound on Scorch Gorge. But they're probably going to take some lessons for that and make sure that doesn't happen here. Anarchists, They don't have an incredibly slow comp, but they definitely don't have, they don't have like a dualies player and then a blaster behind it. It's mainly Tame just, holding forward with the decav, which could still be very good here because, it has big bubbler as well. If they're able to push forward and set that up in a good spot, it could be very good for them. But, I think as long as they're able to kind of watch Tame and make sure Tame's not able to do too much on the decav, they might be okay here.
Yeah, you have to watch Tame at all time, because Tame, I mean, Decavitator that's charged, that's ready to dive forward, can be an instant splat, can be hundreds of damage instantly to any player. You have to pay attention to that. You can't let it go through. But with all these nooks and crannies, all these ledges and walls that you have on this map, the S-Blast from the Portsmouth Paladins is going to be the big weapon to watch out for, because they can get these cheeky angles that absolutely allow them to get the control.
Yeah, for sure. Nebula, of course, staying on the Naught, which is, that is another good weapon here. Sadie's going to the edit, probably for similar reasons. They can both definitely set up on decent spots on this map. Rem going back to the Emperies, which, it definitely worked in the Turf War games against this team before. And of course, Snipes plays that bow on this one to immediately burst. And it does catch a lot of people out because it is basically just a one shot on the shield. And it is Anarchists. I think they're just going to get the checkpoint. I'm not sure what happened to the Paladins players. Maybe they got taken out or just got distracted elsewhere. But that's a very quick check. And Tame is able to set up that big bubbler in a very good spot.
Yeah, especially with Snipes being able to secure everything in the back thanks to the hammer right there. But the dive from Rem will slow things down, slow down the push at least. It looks like the Paladins were able to stop things. 50 is not too bad, but Tame was sharking around, will only get a trade though. Rainmaker is now grabbed by the Paladins, but that was a good opening push for the Anarchists.
Yeah, it was just really good work from everyone on the team. The Nebula on the Nautilus just holding them off for so long. They were able to kind of take advantage of Tame's big bubbler as well. And then Tame as well, just like sharking for an extra kill as well. Sadie able to get snipes. They lost 2 players there, but they are cooled as well, saying Anarchist, so they will be back in very quickly. J-Blast with the BR bomb. I think they got taken out by the burst there before being able to throw it. So 2 players down again on Portsmouth Paladins. Their 2 aggro duo go down, and Tame again just sets up this bubble in a really good spot, but a really good pick from J-Blast.
Yeah, that pick is coming, but it's still the Anarchist moving forward. Oh wait, 3 players down. It looks like the Paladins will take back control of the Rainmaker as everybody from the Anarchist is back from spawn, establishing defensive positions. Ram going in is going to be punished. Only a trade with Nebula right there as Sadie is eyeing that right side checkpoint right there. There's only 1 player to defend it. Okay, they have the path onto left. They're gonna go there. They know they want a sustained push. They want to make more points. Oh! The hammer to the face!
Well, Snipes had other ideas. Rem still able to push in a little bit. They have to get the picks. Unfortunately, they're going to drop. At least they don't get taken out. They are just going to regroup on the left. And their teammates, I think, need help in this spot anyway. The other team has lost Tame. The Inkstorm comes out. The Rainmaker is going to reset. Supports with Paladins are going to, have to regroup mid. Luca trying to shark all that bomb before that bomb might have been close enough to them. They do survive it, and it's a really nice pick on Nebula. They're going to have to get another one, and they're not quite able to. And Tame is immediately just pushing left again on the decav, flanking from the side. Probably going to take out J-Blast. Oh, okay, J-Blast survives. I don't know how, but they do pick up the Rainmaker in the meantime, just getting the pick. And Portsmouth Paladins, they still don't have the checkpoint, but they know pretty much from their game against Tentacle Nuke Inbound, it's not over in Rainmaker until it's not over until it's over, let's say.
Yep, it is never over. There's a minute and a half left in this game. That's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Right now, both teams looking at each other, waiting for a mistake. One splat onto Tame could open things up. for the Paladins, but they lost 2 players as they were trying to dive forward, and the Booyah Bomb was in the wrong spot right there. Portsmouth grabbing the Rainmaker, but that's not going to work. That's not going to work against the Anarchists, who are defending very, very strongly.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the thought process there was for Sadie, but yeah, that was definitely not going to work. I think J-Blast is going to have to really be careful of where they activate their Booyah Bomb as well, because they've been punished a couple of times just by using it too close to the Rainmaker shield, and the Rainmaker shield just gets busted, and they get taken out as well. But it is very solid stuff here from Anarchist, looking to go 3-1 up in this set and put themselves on the doorstep of winning this tournament. And again, they're the ones pushing. They have the Rainmaker on the left. They probably want a higher push than 50, and surely now they are going to get it, because there's only Rem alive on the Anarchists. They do choose to go the Greats way. The shield is up. They push it to 7, which is a solid push. That's going to be very difficult for the Anarchists, for the Paladins to overcome. Luca gets out the Booyah Bomb. We're looking at overtime probably. Someone's going to have to pick that up, I think. They're for sure not going to let it reset.
Pick it up!
Are they going to let it reset?
You don't want to let it reset! Oh!
Well, they let it reset, so they're going to have to pick it up from mid.
Oh no! That is so sad! I mean, they would have needed a push throughout the map in overtime without the checkpoint. Like, let's be honest, it was already a pretty dire. But, I mean, you need to grab the Rainmaker there. You can't let it reset like that. I feel like Portsmouth Paladins are kind of struggling and panicking in this game. They grab the Rainmaker where they really shouldn't. They had their Booyah Bombs right next to the shield explosion that would splat them. Like, the Paladins are making mistakes that we haven't seen them do throughout this season, Conroe.
Yeah, there is definitely a bit of that. They are against the team that's, definitely kind of... I mean, the Anarchists were already really good, but they've definitely kind of figured out Portsmouth Paladins tonight across the 2 sets they've had against them. And, I'm not sure what it is from Portsmouth Paladins. It was definitely... a questionable Rainmaker push. I think they were just desperately going for the checkpoint. It was probably just like kind of miscommunication with the Rainmaker at the end, just expecting someone else to grab it. I can't imagine it was kind of a conscious decision to reset it, unless they were thinking, we don't want to carry this from spawn, we want to carry it from mid. But I don't know, because they just didn't have the players mid to grab it in the first place. But as you said, 7 points. It was going to be a very tough task to overturn that anyway, especially against the team where, they have a very solid backline. They have mid-range completely covered. They have Tame, who can probably just shark somewhere, and then you're just dead as soon as Tame, decides to pop out. They really struggled to get past snipes as well. I mean, that weapon is the Wellspring is good at bursting the shield, but it is also good at just constant chipping, as long as they can hit where the Rainmaker is. We saw them throw the Ultra Stamp at the Rainmaker just before they were about to get the checkpoint one time. And Portsmouth Paladins picked that, but Anarchist had a solid plan there. And now Portsmouth Paladins have to win 3 in a row to take this. Anarchist on the doorstep of winning for the 2nd season in a row. Clan Blitz is going to be at Museum.
Yeah, Clan Blitz Museum. That's the last counter pick for the Paladins of this whole season. We'll see if they counter picked right there. I mean, this is very much one of these classic Clan Blitz map, and at this point in the tournament, you want to go to the classic. You want to know what where you can really make it work. And I feel like we're going to see the Tetras again, because Reef Slider on Clan Blitz is always fun to watch.
Yeah, we probably will. I feel like Rem would be able to get more done with that weapon as well. I mean, the Emperies have certainly worked sometimes, but I think Tetra does it a little bit better. And Rem knows how to play Tetra. Of course, that is the weapon I know them best for anyway. So. It's just hopefully a bit more coordination as well. I know with a Tetra, you just want to kind of jump in and get slats, but it's always important to have the teammates to back you up as well. And never mind. Rem is not on any kind of dually. They're on the 52.
Yeah, I guess Rem is done. They want to go with the Gal, but I mean the Gal is a weapon that can allow a player to stay alive longer, which especially in Clan Blitz is incredibly important. Right there, though, it looks like the Anarchists are already getting a few splats, getting lots of control with the Tacticular on both sides. We're going to see more fighting.
Yeah, we are. Ren picked a 52 and went for the flank straight away, but it didn't quite work out. And suddenly there's 3 players down for Paladin. Sadie just able to jump out, but this could well be the first push going to Anarchist. Having said that, they're taking a little while to get a power clam online. They have a lot of clams between the team, the 2 players on 7. But are they going to be able to, make a power clam to score? They've got the bubble up, so surely they're going to be able to. But Rem was able to go in and just delay it a little bit. They're still going to be able to score, but only one power clam after all that. I mean, if I was Anarchist, I'd surely be disappointed with that at this point, because that should have been more, I feel.
That was a lot of resources just to get 20 points right there. But it's still a small lead for the Anarchists, and the Paladins were not able to break their way back into mid, which means it's still very much the Anarchists that are controlling the paint, that are controlling the pace with J-Blast. Still around here to maintain some presence, to do some more. And oh wait, 3 players down on the Anarchists. I guess the Paladins are going to move forward now.
Yeah, they are. Snipes was just able to jump out. Luca, unfortunately, just timing that BR bomb when all the damage had already been done. But it does look like Portsmouth Paladins have been able to set up. They just need to get a few more picks if they're able to. But Anarchists have a very good comp, a very good strat of just walling them out with the weapons they have, especially across the Rapid and the Nautilus. As we said before, it's just so much midline, and Snipes getting an up-close kill on Rem on the 52 gal. Very nice work from them. Now Luca bringing out the BR bomb, aiming that at mid, trying to get, and they do get Nebula with that actually. Nice pick, but they just have to get past this backline of Snipes, just holding down the ground, making sure they're not going to push up. Sadie, there you go. There is one. There is the important pick. They have to go surely soon. They have plenty of clams on them. Sadie just trying to move in, but they've lost Rem. Again, are they at least going to be able to get it in and maybe follow it up? It's just the pro. It's just Luca. They don't have time. They don't have time. They're going to have to back up. Nice jump out, but it's not going to be the lead, unfortunately.
Not the lead. Getting a 19-point push is sad right there. 2 minutes left in this game. The Portsmouth Paladins need to mount another push, as right now the Anarchists have a lot of paint around, are happy to get into more fights, and it's 3 down onto Portsmouth. J-Blast trying to hang on with the Booyah Bomb is going to be splatted, but will give some time to the rest of the team to get back in. Can Portsmouth defend? Though it looks like not. Anarchists are under the basket with the bubbler and are reopening it. This time we're gonna see clams fly in.
We are going to see clams flying. The big bubbler gets set up again, and it's just player advantage at the end of that. Nebula goes to the Grace on the spin to set up as well. They do lose 2 players. They still have some clams. Nebula's probably just going to try and throw a few in here, and they get about 4 of those in, which is well done from them before they eventually get taken out. And that is a huge lead now with just over a minute left. Portsmouth Paladins have it all to do, and really I feel like they have to just wipe the other team, because even when they've got player advantage, they're not able to get the push they need. It's always so very slow, because Anarchist is so good at just walling them out. And again, I mean, Anarchist on the front foot here. They have a couple of power clams ready to go as well.
Yeah, right now, Anarchists still maintaining their control over the map. 45 seconds left, and the Paladins, they have a Super Clam ready, but they don't have the space, they don't have the ability to move forward, and they lost 2 players. Make that 3 Nebula going in, and they're just funneling Super Clams forward right now, trying to get 1 more in, and with the help of Tame. Oh, that's a KO. The Anarchists are your NSE champions of this season.
2 tournaments in a row for Anarchist. Really nice work to go back and get another power clam just to seal the deal there. Did not even take it to overtime, just get it done right there with a KO. Congrats to Anarchists for taking the final 4-1, quite convincing in the end against Portsmouth Paladins, losing to them twice in the Swiss stage, but they've beaten them twice tonight, only really dropping, well, yeah, they only dropped 1 point. Paladins taking one of the earlier games this set, but Anarchists came here tonight to win, and that is exactly what they did, quite convincingly.
Yeah, Anarchist very, very strong. And I mean, tonight, Portsmouth were only able to get Turf Wars game off of them. That's how dominant the Anarchists were. Simply ready to get in this fight, ready to get control of the objective. And Portsmouth Paladins, I mean, there's a reason they're in the finals too. They're very much in the top 2 of our NSE teams, but the Anarchists were on top tonight, commandingly. Which means they are, as you said it, your champions once again, winning both summer and winter. Congratulations to them, and I guess that's it. That was your NSC Winter 25 season.
Yeah, that was the season, and I'm assuming we'll be back to do it all again in the spring edition of this. Of course, I guess if we're speaking in university terms, this is the first season of the year, so it will be the same students. So hopefully all these players will be coming back. Maybe some new ones as well. Maybe some players saw this going on and want to join for the next one. But yeah, NSE Winter 25 is all wrapped up, and once again, Anarchists take it. I have no doubt they'll be back next season to defend it once again in spring. Will we see anyone topple them? We will have to find out. I'm sure we'll both be back commentating that, because it's always a lot of fun doing the UK, so many words, UK Splatoon University League, or whichever order they go in. It's one of those. But yeah, that is it from us at Dapple Productions. Until next time. So Pat, tell everyone where they can find you on the socials.
Well, you can find me on Blue Sky. It's written right there, Pat J or Tom. And Conroe, where can I find you on the internet?
Yeah, I'm also on Blue Sky at Conroe SPL, and on Twitch I am just Conroe, CONRO. So yeah, I do stream this game sometimes, so feel free to catch me there. And yeah, Dapple Productions will be back soon, streaming a bunch of tournaments, and NSE will be back in the spring. So thanks very much everyone for watching. Congrats to Anarchist, and we'll see you all next time.